I refused to give up my front row spot at a concert to someone claiming to be disabled. So, I flew to another country to see this artist I've been obsessed with for like 6 years. This wasn't just any concert for me. This was the concert. I'd been saving up for months, skipping meals, picking up extra shifts, the whole deal. And since this was probably my only shot at seeing them live, I wasn't messing around. I showed up to the venue at 5 hours in the morning, 5 a.m. It was freezing cold, like the kind of cold where your fingers go numb and you can't feel your toes anymore. Doors weren't opening until 7 that night. Yeah, I waited 14 hours in that line. No food, barely any water, because I didn't want to lose my spot to use the bathroom. But when those doors finally opened, I sprinted inside and got myself a front row barricade spot. Dead center. Perfect view of the stage. I was literally touching the railing. This was everything I'd been dreaming about. The venue started filling up, and I'm just standing there soaking it all in. Then this dude behind me taps my shoulder. He's tall, like really tall. Probably 6'something. I'm 5'1" on a good day. He tells me he's disabled, and that the venue was supposed to let disabled people in early, but they messed up. Then he straight up asks me to give him my spot. Now look, I'm not heartless. I know this venue actually has great accommodations for disabled people. My friend went to a show here last year, and they took her to the front during a special time slot before it got crowded. They have a whole system for this. So, I'm confused why he's asking me instead of talking to security. But here's my problem. If I give him my spot, I literally won't see anything. He's over a foot taller than me. He'd completely block my view. I waited 14 hours in the freezing cold for this. I spent money I didn't really have. This was my one chance. I tried to be helpful. I pointed to the right side of the barricade, where there were still open spots. I told him he could go there, hold on to the rail for support, and he'd still have an amazing view because of his height. He said no, said the view wasn't as good as where I was standing. While we're talking, those spots fill up, and he starts getting more pushy. He tells me he'll have a hard time if he can't take my exact spot. I'm getting annoyed now, because this doesn't add up. I told him if his disability was that serious, he should be in the accessible section. The venue has one specifically designed for people with disabilities with perfect views. Or he could have brought a cane or something for support. Or he could literally just ask security right now to escort him to the disabled seating area up front. He stared at me for a second, then called me in and told me to get. Then he just walked away into the crowd. The concert started about 20 minutes later, and I didn't see him again. I stayed in my spot the whole show, had the time of my life, cried during like 3 songs. But I kept thinking about that interaction. Did I mess up? Should I have just moved? But then I remembered this venue has multiple options for disabled people. Accessible seating, early entry, security escorts. If he really needed accommodation, he had plenty of ways to get it that didn't involve taking my spot specifically. The more I thought about it, the more it felt like he just saw a short person up front and figured I'd be an easy target to guilt into moving. Story 2. She texted, I withdrew $847,000 from your secret account for my startup. You're welcome, I responded. Bold move. That account was a FBI honeypot I'd been cooperating with to catch embezzlers when 6 federal agents kicked down her office door during her first board meeting. Original post. I-52 Mail got the text at 11:23 a.m. on a Thursday while sitting in my accountant's office. My business partner of 8 years, Melissa 48, had just committed what might be the dumbest crime in corporate history. The message read, Derek, found your offshore account. Nice try hiding it during our restructuring talks. Withdrew the full $847,000 for my new venture. Consider it my exit package. You're welcome for not making this messy. My accountant, Greg, saw my face change. Everything okay? I actually laughed. Melissa just stole $800,000. What? From the account the FBI set up to catch whoever's been skimming from our government contracts. Greg's coffee mug stopped halfway to his mouth. The honeypot account. Yep. See, 6 months ago, our company started noticing discrepancies in our federal contract billing. Small amounts at first, then bigger. FBI got involved quietly. They suspected an inside job, but needed proof. So, they had me set up what looked like a hidden offshore account, complete with fake transaction history showing skimmed funds. The whole thing was monitored 24/7 by the feds, and Melissa just vaulted right into it. I texted back, bold move. Then I called the special agent Rodriguez. Hey, remember that bait account you guys had me set up? Yeah, someone just took the whole thing. Silence. Then someone took $800,000 from a federal monitoring account. My business partner, she texted me about it, bragging. She texted you about stealing from what she thinks is your illegal account. Screenshot already sent to your email. Jesus Christ, we'll handle this. Do not contact her again. Do not warn her. Wouldn't dream of it. The beauty of this. Melissa thought she was being clever. She'd been pushing for a buyout for months, demanding way more than her stake was worth. When I refused, she got nasty, accused me of hiding assets, threatened to report me to the IRS for suspicious financial activity, unless I paid her off. Turns out she'd hired some sketchy private investigator who found the honeypot account. Thought she'd hit the jackpot. Even better, she figured I couldn't report it without admitting to having an illegal offshore account. Except it wasn't illegal. It wasn't even real money. It was FBI funny money in an FBI-controlled account, now with her digital fingerprints all over it. Greg poured himself a scotch at 11:45 a.m. This is insane. This is karma. Update 1. 3 days later, holy hell, the entitlement escalated fast. Friday morning, Melissa strutted into the office like she owned the place. Actually announced to our team she'd be transitioning to pursue other opportunities and threw herself a goodbye party on company time with company resources. Don't worry about Derek, she told everyone. He's fully supportive of my new venture. We've worked out a very generous severance arrangement. She ordered 500 lunch worth of catering, hired a photographer, even had the balls to take her office furniture, claiming I'd agreed to let her have it. I just smiled and nodded, didn't say a word. The FBI had specifically instructed me to act normal, let her dig deeper. But then she got cocky. Saturday, she sent out a mass email to all our clients from her company account, which it hadn't disabled yet per FBI request. The email announced her exciting new consulting firm and heavily implied our company was having financial troubles. She wrote, "Wasta na uteponi, what owens?" After discovering concerning financial irregularities during my tenure as partner, I've decided to branch out on my own. I'd love to continue serving your needs with the integrity and transparency you deserve. She was trying to poach clients while suggesting I was crooked. The irony was incredible. Then came the social media posts, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, pictures of her at a Mercedes dealership. Sometimes you have to bet on yourself. New beginnings. Female entrepreneur. Know your worth. She leased a fully loaded S-Class leased with stolen federal bait money. But the peak entitlement came Monday morning. She hired movers to come to our office. Not for her stuff, for my stuff. Claimed we'd agreed she could have the conference room furniture, the espresso machine, even the artwork from my personal office. The movers were confused when I said no. Melissa called me screaming. "We had a deal, Derek. We absolutely did not. I have messages proving you agreed to this. Send them to my lawyer. You don't want to play hardball with me. I know about your little account, remember? I'm counting on it." She hung up and immediately had her new lawyer send a cease and desist letter claiming I was harassing her and sabotaging her new business. Also demanded I transfer her rightful share of several patents we'd filed together. Patents that belonged entirely to the company, not us personally. The lawyer's letter also mentioned she'd be filing a whistleblower complaint about my offshore tax evasion if I didn't comply within 48 hours. Perfect. She was literally creating evidence of extortion for the FBI. Rodriguez called me that afternoon. She's using the stolen funds. We're tracking every penny. Did she really just try to take your office furniture with movers and everything? This is the dumbest criminal I've ever surveilled. She's posting her crimes on Instagram. When are you moving? Her first board meeting. She sent us an invitation through LinkedIn. Thursday, 6 p.m. She tagged the location and everything. I almost felt bad. Almost. Update 2. The board meeting Thursday came. Melissa had rented out an entire floor of a downtown high-rise for her launch event. According to her Instagram stories, she'd invited potential investors, clients she was trying to poach, and even a local news crew to cover her inspiring journey as a female entrepreneur overcoming workplace adversity. I knew the exact timeline because Rodri kept me updated via text. 1:45 p.m. Team in position. 1:45 p.m. Subject is live streaming her intro speech. She's really comparing herself to Elizabeth Holmes, but as a success story. Moving in. I wasn't there, but I've now seen the footage from multiple angles thanks to her own live stream and the news crew she invited. She was mid-PowerPoint, explaining her revolutionary consulting methodology. Literally, just our companies. Existing processes with different names when they came in. Not quietly, not discreetly. 6 federal agents in full FBI windbreakers. The live stream caught everything. Melissa Hartley, FBI. You're under arrest for wire fraud, theft of government property, and violation of the Federal Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. The best part? She tried to run in heels on marble floors. She made it about 10 FT before slipping and taking down her entire presentation board. As they cuffed her, she screamed. And this is word for word from the news footage. This is a setup. Derek Martinez is the real criminal. Check his offshore accounts. He's framing me. One of the agents actually responded, "Ma'am, the account you stole from is the evidence." The live stream cut off, but apparently she fainted right there in front of her potential investors, the news crew, and the clients she was trying to poach. The news ran at it that night. Local businesswoman arrested at launch event for theft of federal funds. They even included a clip of her LinkedIn post about betting on yourself. But she still wasn't done. From jail, she had her sister Emma call me. Emma 45F was just as entitled, but thought she was smarter. Derek, this is obviously a misunderstanding. Melissa was clearly confused about the nature of that account. She texted me saying she stole it. She was joking. You know her sense of humor. The FBI doesn't think it's funny. Look, we both know you set her up. That's entrapment. No, entrapment would be if I told her to steal it. She found it, decided to steal it, and bragged about it. That's just crime. She'll sue you for everything. With what money? The FBI froze all her assets. Emma hung up on me. 20 minutes later, I got an email from her husband, Tony, offering to mediate the situation for a finder fee of $50,000. I forwarded that to Rodriguez too. Update 3, the aftermath. It's been 3 weeks since the arrest. The entitlement hasn't stopped. It's actually gotten worse. First, Melissa's lawyer, a public defender now since her paid attorney dropped her when the checks bounced, tried to argue this was a domestic dispute between business partners. The prosecutor shut that down by pointing out that stealing federal bait money is shockingly a federal crime. Then Melissa started calling me from jail. Collect calls. The audacity. I declined everyone, but she left voicemails through the system. Derek, please. I was just trying to get what I deserved. You owe me for 8 years of building that company. I'll tell them it was all a misunderstanding if you drop the charges. Lady, the FBI brought the charges. I'm just a witness. Emma escalated things, started a GoFundMe titled, "Help Melissa Fight Corporate Bullying." She claimed I'd manipulated federal resources to destroy a successful woman in business. Raised $3,000 before GoFundMe shut it down for fraud. Turns out using crowdfunding to pay for federal crime defense, while lying about the crime, violates their terms. But the peak entitlement came last Tuesday. Melissa's mother, Dorothy, 71F, showed up at my office. Security called me down to the lobby. This elderly woman, who I'd had dinner with dozens of times over the years, looked me dead in the eye and said, "You need to fix this. Tell them it was a misunderstanding." Dorothy. She stole from what she thought was my illegal account. She was taking what you owed her. I owed her nothing. She was trying to extort me. She's a single mother. She's not. She's divorced with no kids. She has diabetes. She doesn't. Her father would be ashamed of you. Her father is alive and already called me to apologize for his daughter's actions. When none of that worked, Dorothy tried a different approach. I'll give you my house if you make this go away. Dorothy, I can't make it go away. She stole from the FBI. Then you should have warned her it was a trap. That would defeat the purpose of a trap. She left screaming about lawsuits and elder abuse because security escorted her out. The company update, we're actually doing better. The clients Melissa tried to poach were so horrified by her arrest livestream that they've increased their contracts with us. The publicity has been weird, but ultimately positive. We're now known as the company that cooperates with federal investigations. Rodriguez told me, Melissa's looking at 5 to 10 years minimum. The wire fraud alone is serious, but stealing from a federal investigation account adds all sorts of fun charges. Plus, they found evidence she'd been skimming from our government contracts for 2 years. Turns out she was the inside thief they were originally looking for. The honeypot just caught her for a different crime. The Mercedes dealership is trying to repo the S-Class, but Melissa hid it somewhere. They've hired a bounty hunter. A bounty hunter for a leased Mercedes that she put maybe 2 payments down on with stolen FBI money. Final update. 2 months later, Melissa took a plea deal. 7 years federal prison, 3 years supervised release, and she has to pay restitution for the contract skimming, about $1.3 million total. At the sentencing, she gave a speech about how she victim of systemic bias against strong women in business. The judge, a woman, was not impressed. Miss Hartley, you stole from a federal investigation. You then used those funds to lease a luxury vehicle and rent commercial space. You attempted to extort your business partner and poach clients while impugning his reputation. This isn't bias. This is consequences. But even after being sentenced, the entitlement continued. Her sister Emma sent me an invoice for emotional damages totaling $2.8 million. Her reasoning, my entrapment scheme, had destroyed her family's reputation and caused her severe emotional distress. I sent it to my lawyer, who sent back a cease and desist so beautiful it could be framed. It included the phrase frivolous to the point of sanctionable conduct and referenced potential harassment charges. Tony, Emma's husband, then tried to buy Melissa's share of the company for $1. Literally $1. His argument was that since she was a convicted felon, her shares were worthless anyway, and he was doing me a favor by taking them off my hands. My lawyer explained that Melissa's shares would be liquidated to pay her restitution at fair market value, which was about $400,000. Tony threatened to report me to the Better Business Bureau, the BBB. We're not selling him shares that weren't mine to sell that were worth $400 for $1. Dorothy started a blog titled Justice for Melissa, where she posts daily about how her daughter was entrapped by the patriarchy. It has 4 readers, all family members. She sends me the links every day from different email addresses after I keep blocking her. The Mercedes was found last month. Melissa had given it to a friend to hold on to. That friend is now being investigated for receiving stolen property since the car was purchased with proceeds from a federal crime. Melissa called me collect one more time before being transferred to federal prison. I actually accepted this one. Derek, I hope you're happy. I'm doing all right. I made one mistake and you ruined my life. You stole $847,000 and tried to destroy my business. It was your money from your illegal account. It was the FBI's money in the FBI's account. You should have told me. That would have defeated the purpose. I'm going to sue you when I get out. Good luck with that. She started crying then. Not sad tears, angry tears. You were supposed to just pay me off. That's how these things work. You had an illegal account. I found it. You pay me to keep quiet. That's the deal. There was no deal. There was just you committing multiple federal crimes. I hate you. Noted. She hung up. The company's thriving now. We got 3 new government contracts after the news coverage. Turns out the feds really like working with companies that actively help catch embezzlers. I promoted Melissa's assistant, Naomi, to partner. She's brilliant, ethical, and her first question was, can I see the FBI appreciation letter to frame it? Be Rodriguez sent me a bottle of scotch after the sentencing with a note. Thanks for the easiest conviction of my career. The best part, Melissa's mugshot became a meme in our industry. Someone photoshopped it with the caption, "When you steal from the FBI's account, thinking it's your partner's secret stash." And it went viral on LinkedIn. Her Instagram is still up. The last post is her at the Mercedes dealership. The comments are brutal. My favorite, bet on yourself. And by yourself, we mean federal prison. Dorothy's still blogging. Emma's still sending invoices up to $3.2 million now. Tony started a YouTube channel about fighting corporate corruption that has 12 subscribers, all bots. Melissa's got 6 years and 8 months left. The FBI kept the entire $847,000 as evidence. The Mercedes got repoed. The office space she rented is being sued for breach of contract. The client she tried to poach won't touch her name with a 10F'd pole. And me? I'm typing this from my office. The one she tried to steal the furniture from. Sipping coffee from the machine she attempted to take, looking at the artwork she claimed was agreed upon as hers. Sometimes karma doesn't need any help. But sometimes, karma is 6 FBI agents kicking down your door during the live-streamed board meeting you scheduled yourself while committing federal crimes with money you stole from a government honeypot account. That's not revenge. That's just consequences. Beautiful federal consequences.